Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John. I'm here to talk to you today about a few things. Kaiser's here with me. And there's a lot going on, but nothing of importance in my estimation to talk about today other than the turnaround, the very rapid turnaround. It's amazing what a massive stock loss will do to the ideas of some woke CEOs that decide that they need to change everything that's old and make it new again in the fashion of the Karen situation that we all know and love that's taking place in this country. Well, the Cracker Barrel turnaround that CNN is slamming and blaming MAGA for took place pretty much overnight after our president told them exactly what his thoughts were on bringing back a brand and making it great again. So a lot's going on there, but it's going back to the original sign. Whether or not they're going to take a monicum of responsibility for the wokeness that's taking place on the inside of Cracker Barrel, such as, the little game that you play, the little square with the golf tees in it, and the wording on it was, if you got 3 or 2 or 1 left, you were this, that, or the other thing. Well, now they've changed that verbiage so no one gets upset if they lose the game. So it's things like that are going to take place on the inside of the Cracker Barrels, but the logo will be put back to where Uncle Herschel is still a primary figure next to the barrel that is always has been loved by passersby on the highways and byways of the United States as we travel and need to stop from time to time for sustenance and just a break from the road if you're on a long trip. And the Cracker Barrel was always a welcome sign at the next exit. And it will be that one more time. I'm told the stock market has rallied today for Cracker Barrel. And people are showing just what their thoughts were on it. Has nothing to do with MAGA. There were many patrons of that organization that were very upset about the changes as she portrayed it on all of the news channels, including CNN. But let's take a look right here.
On the all-time list of weirdest culture wars, this one's got to rank pretty high. And for one company, an iconic company, the price that it is paying is also very high. Here's the bottom line, at least we think. Cracker Barrel has updated its logo. You see it right there. The redesigned logo and decor, whether you love it or hate it, is change. It's pretty standard for companies to update from time to time, but not according to MAGA. The right is now calling the chain woke, and the stock price fell off a cliff today over it. Some of them are upset that they took away Uncle Herschel. The president's son asked, what the F is wrong with them? One MAGA account with nearly 4 million followers said that the CEO should face charges for this crime against humanity.
Hell yes.
We could have done a better job sharing who we are and who we'll always be. Company losing $94 million in market value last Thursday. The company saying, while our logo and remodels may be making headlines, our bigger focus is still right where it belongs, in the kitchen and on your plate. Some customers still not happy. One posting, you kicked Uncle Herschel to the curb. Now you are paying the price. Own it and stop making excuses.
But I've seen a lot of folks who have no allegiance or alliance to MAGA that have complained about this. And why? It's because there's a resistance to change, specifically a resistance to changing things that aren't broken. And Cracker Barrel works because Cracker Barrel is consistent. When you go on a road trip, you know that you're going to get good food at a good price at the next exit. And you can go in and you have the kitschy decor. It makes you feel like you're at home or in grandma's living room. That's what people want. They don't want bland, boring, cookie cutter, minimalist places that feel like fill-in-the-blank fusion restaurants.
must be kicking yourself for not walking out when you could. Bad judgment.
Cracker Barrel should go back to the old logo, admit a mistake based on customer response, the ultimate poll, and manage the company better than ever before. They got $1 billion worth of free publicity if they play their cards right. Very tricky to do, but a great opportunity. Have a major news conference today. Make Cracker Barrel a winner again.
8 hours later.
This just in, Cracker Barrel is going back to its old logo. The company just made the announcement minutes ago. The old logo features the man and the barrel. The new logo, which is now going away, is on the right. The company released a statement thanking its guests for sharing their opinions.
See, that wasn't so hard.
You ain't black.
To blame MAGA is like really stupid, and it's a segment for Stupid Town for sure, but we have a lot going into Stupid Town today, so we'll save that for another day. And let's take a quick jaunt into the midsection of the United States and listen to Johnson and Pritzker out there doubling down on the fact that they don't have any crime in the city of Chicago, and they are upset about the idea of doing in their city what has been done in D.C. and whether or not they need help. Well, if you look and listen to the citizens of those areas that have been massively affected, and you'll see that here in a minute, some people that are community people that are worried about the amount of crime that is taking place in and around Chicago by roving gangs and people stealing from stores and closing down stores that are in neighborhoods in need of these stores, such as Foot Locker and Walgreens and CVS and places that are being boarded up and closed as a result of people not feeling safe, or the owners of these stores being wiped out by these roving gangs that come in and the smash and grab artists that are running free in the city of Chicago. Whether or not Fatso Pritzker wants to admit it, and Johnson is going to run on the fact that he's reduced crime, I don't think so. But here we go. Take a look here.
So let's just get to the facts. Over the past 2 years, we have seen significant reductions in crime and violence. In the last year alone, we have seen more than a 30% decline in homicides. Let me say that again. We've reduced homicides in 1 year by almost a third. Give yourselves a hand for being a part of history, Chicago. We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that, and we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down. It is racist.
These people are sick. These people are sick.
There is no emergency in Chicago that calls for armed military intervention.
There is no insurrection. There is no insurrection. Like every major American city in both blue and red states, we deal with crime in Chicago. Indeed, the violent crime rate is worse in red states and red cities. Here in Chicago, our civilian police force and elected leaders work every day to combat crime and to improve public safety. And it's working.
The levels of violence we saw around the city was obviously frustrating, not just from this weekend, but if you go back a few days before that.
According to CPD, 55 people were shot between midnight on Thursday, July 3rd, to 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, July the 7th, 8 of them fatally.
There is no emergency in Chicago that calls for armed military intervention. Yes, there is.
Chicago police are investigating all the shootings, but
in most cases, no one is in custody and no arrests have been made.
Think about that.
Look around you right now. Does this look like an emergency? Look at this. Go talk to the people of Chicago.
Yesterday,
this Foot Locker store remains closed and it's unclear when it will reopen. It's the third Foot Locker that crash and grab thieves have targeted in the city in the last week.
I'm shocked and I'm disappointed at the same time because this neighborhood used to be a very good neighborhood.
Won't be able to stay in business because they keep losing money because of the situation. And if they keep losing money, that means they're going to leave. And that means we're going to lose the stuff that we need in our neighborhoods.
Go talk to the people of Chicago.
The whole neighborhood is just sick of people coming into the neighborhood and acting like they can just come ravage your stores, take what they want to take, and then they try to make you feel like you're wrong for defending your property.
Look at this.
I think overall is really negative. We only have few places that we can shop in some of our neighborhoods. A lot of our malls and strip malls have gone down and they have not replaced them. And so I think we're taken away from our own.
It's unclear if the store's security cameras captured the crime. Area 1 detectives continue to investigate, but so far no one is in custody and no arrests have been made.
This. Well, they say that they've reduced crime, but it doesn't appear that way. And I think that we need to look at all of the cities, whether they're red, blue, green, or in between. They have to really rethink how they deploy their police organizations and manpower in these cities. You know, when I was growing up in New York City, they had what they called beat cops that were on certain neighborhood streets. They knew who you were. They knew what area you belonged into. And if you were out of that area, they would stop and ask you, what are you doing here? What are you up to? You need to go home. And these things were taken away with the advent of, the two-man police cars and roving people that go around. But if you put the beat cops back on the street corners, in my estimation, it will be a deterrent to idiots that are running around trying to do smash and grabs because there will be a policeman close by. And now with the advent of radios, in my day, they had call boxes they had to go to and open up and call for a car. But now with radios, the car can be there instantly if needed, but the beat cop would be a deterrent. And I think that maybe they ought to take a look at bringing back the neighborhood beat policeman that is out there knowing who is who and what's going on in that particular neighborhood at any given time of the day, whether it's day or night. And these are the things that work that were taken away, and for what reason they were taken away, no one knows. It was probably manpower and a cutback in having the manpower needed to cover those neighborhoods. But I think they should bring it back. Whether or not you need the National Guard in Chicago or in L.A. or any place is to be determined by the people that are in the know about how to curtail the crime that is taking place in any given area of a city. And we all know that this is something that has to be done by people that are trained and understand how these organizations should be worked and how the manpower should be allocated. But if you have a lack of recruitment in the police departments, which I think you're seeing in New York and all the major cities, people don't want to go into that walk of life anymore. They won't want to be civil servants. Everybody now that graduates college thinks that they should be hired as a vice president or a major foreman put right in place without having to earn your stripes to get up to a point where you can graduate into management. But no, they come out of college now and they want to be management. They're going to hold out for that management job. They don't want to start at the bottom and learn the business that they're in from the bottom up. They want to start at the top. And, well, that's not working out very well for a lot of people and a lot of states that are being run by people who have no idea how to run the state that they may be governor in. And that'll bring us out to California and Governor Newsome, speaking of the devil, that now wants to cajole Canadians to come to his state because they are going to offer them what all of the other states that are against Canada can't provide. And he thinks that this is going to bring back tourism to his cities that, like L.A., that is full of graffiti and boarded up windows because they can't control the crime in their cities by themselves. And they think that his idea is just going to bring back to a broken state more tourism and a look at the crimes that are taking place there. Let's take a peek at Governor Newsome's new idea of bringing Canadians into California.
You've probably heard that Canadian tourism to the U.S. has dropped. What's surprising is by how much. The U.S. Travel Association warned in February just a 10% drop in Canadian tourism would cost the U.S. about $2 billion. Now, California Governor Gavin Newsom is trying to bring some of those tourists back here to our state. Today, the governor and Visit California launched a new international tourism campaign. It's aimed at inviting Canadians to visit California to experience the state's, quote, warmth and love.
California, it's the ultimate playground. 2,000 miles from Washington and a world away in mindset. From our iconic beaches and national parks to world-class wine, food, and outdoor adventure, there's something here for everyone. Last year, nearly 2 million Canadians visited California because here in California, we've got plenty of sunshine and a whole lot of love for our neighbors up north. Because here in California, we've got plenty of sunshine and a whole lot of love.
Last Friday around 7 p.m., I was buying a frozen pizza, among other things, at a San Francisco Walgreens, and suddenly heard quite the commotion. Three males ransacking the makeup section of a Walgreens store at 1st and Mission Street this past Friday night in San Francisco. In the video that I recorded as I was shopping there, you can see the individuals fill up bags and backpacks, then run out of the store untouched by what appears to be security taking video.
Somebody's got to stop them!
No, don't let him go. Let him.
This Walgreens store is one of just a few remaining locations in San Francisco's financial district. Back in January of this year, Walgreens announced the closure of 12 other stores in San Francisco.
I say that's the California way.
The theft seen in this video comes at a time when San Francisco police have recently pointed to year-over-year lower crime numbers in all areas, including larceny thefts like this. Employees at this store, though, mentioned to me that this is nothing new. I didn't see officers at the store during or after this theft, but online data shows it was reported a short time later, and the loss was more than $950.
We have reached out to Walgreens to see if any additional measures have been put into place at this store in addition to locking up items, but have not heard back. Certainly an unsettling feeling when you see that happen in person.
Because here in California, we've got plenty of sunshine and a whole lot of love.
Now there's no itch that a HK MP5 can't scratch. Unless, of course, you want a Uzi.
It's too much, too heavy. I need something lighter because we're gonna be doing a lot of running. I need something like, see this here? This one or two of these. That's all I need right here. A couple of these and I'm cool, man. And I'm gonna pay you back, you know I'm good for it.
Well, if it works for him, I can't see it happening. But who knows? This is a guy that thinks that he would like to run for president of these United States, along with his protege there, Pritzker in Illinois, who believes that he couldn't run for president of the United States. Fat chance there. No pun intended. But there's a lot of kickback going on everything Trump, because you all realize that Orange Man is bad. He is going to threaten democracy, and so on and so on. Well, he came out with a new idea that if you burn the American flag, you're going to go to jail for a year. There is no 6 months. There is no pardons on this. You get caught burning the American flag, you're going to spend a year in prison. I, for one, applaud that move, because I am sick and tired of watching these ne'er-do-wells in the street, half of that are not citizens of the United States of America, taking and burning our flag. Whether it's for pro-Palestine, whether it's for pro-this, that, or the other thing, there is no excuse, and there should be no pardons for someone that burns the American flag that so many have sacrificed their lives to defend that flag. And the kickback coming from everyone on this is ridiculous. And I guess that Hillary Clinton just plain forgot what she had to say a few years back about that. So let's just refresh memories here. Take a look at this.
All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, because the people in this country don't want to see our American flag burned and spit on.
You bunch of losers!
Breaking news. Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad.
Orange Man.
Orange Man.
They just one little problem.
So I hope, Mr. President, that we can pass a law that criminalizes flag burning and desecration. I agree that this burning, this desecration that can happen to our flag is something that people have a right to ask this body to try to prohibit and prevent.
God, how can you stand that woman?
The flag's unique place in our national life means that we should preserve it against all manner of destruction. It doesn't matter who burns or mutilates or tramples the flag, and it doesn't matter why. Under my proposal, it will be unlawful to do the flag harm, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Do not throw rocks when you live in the house of Joe.
So I guess she forgot that she even was a little tired of seeing the flag burn back in those days. But anyway, I hope that that program goes on to being recognized, which is difficult to do considering the Congress that we have that fights everything Trump, no matter whether it's good or beneficial to us as citizens of the United States, they will rail against it because it is not a democratic, communistic, socialistic, Marxist-driven idea that they may have come up with that they believe is just the way to go. If you look at where their new rising stars in the Democratic Party are coming from, it's quite ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous, there was an idea that came up with people that were writing into the Cracker Barrel CEO, and some people came up with a really good idea because the Karen-driven changes that we see happening with not only Cracker Barrel but other organizations that we all knew and loved. We don't even have to list them here. You're all aware of the changes that have been made, but somebody came up with a new idea for Karen Barrel, and I'd like to show that to you. It hasn't been accepted or inducted into the thinking of the left, but this would be the perfect place for the left that is up in arms over everything. Cracker Barrel to what color you wear and what mask you should be wearing. So take a look here at this idea, which I think is quite brilliant.
Change is hard. So is a poop after a hard night of drinking. That's why we're taking our familiar country store brand, the Cracker Barrel, to the next level. Introducing the Karen Barrel. You heard me, we're still doing this crap. Out with the old, in with the new. The Karen Barrel was made to appease to the modern audience, whoever the hell that is. A subreddit or something, I don't frickin' know. Now you and your family can enjoy a hot piping meal under the scrutiny of bored housewives who hate your guts. Gone are the live, laugh, love days. Now it's get in, eat your slop, and leave, you filthy incels. Our restaurant sports a new look. Look at this. The picture is stunning and brave. Born out of countless hours of focus-tested Karens. The Karen Barrel is America's new restaurant. We've removed the nostalgia of our racist, musty old gift shop and replaced it with wigs and rows of boxed wine. No need to ask where the manager is. You'll be supplied with a frightening supervisor at your own table, judging you and waiting any second to cancel you over whether you order the country steak or the Trump fries. I mean, come on, if the CEO of our company doesn't screen Karen, I don't know what does. So forget tradition. Embrace Karenism. The Karen Barrel. 2016 was like 11 years ago and we're still doing this shit. Eat up or we're calling the manager. Man, this is so stupid. I just want something to crash into the planet, like literally asteroid, just destroy the entire planet. Anyway, don't eat a Cracker Barrel alone. I gotta check out. Damn.
Now that should have given you a smile, but it rings so true of reality today that it's almost interesting, isn't it? And that is going to probably take us on into a visit to our favorite exit. So hold on while we exit right here to Stupid Town.
We'll see what the order does. We've not had it analyzed and looked on this, but I would just remind folks in an all-volunteer force and the Minnesota National Guard.
The Minnesota National Guard.
Being an example of this.
Well, wait a minute. That didn't sound right.
And look, let's win back the Minnesota State Senate.
Win back the Minnesota State Senate.
He has no idea. So look, Kamala Harris does. It starts with making sure we focus on the middle class, 100 million Minnesota Americans.
It's a Minnesota thing.
is it going to slow things down? Yes, a little bit, but it's going to make sure that what Minnesota does, those programs have made Minnesota the best place to raise a child.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Last night, the conversation my fiance and I had before we went to bed was, if this happens, we won't be having kids. At least not in the next 4 years. We definitely can't have them in the state we live in now. I'm already a high risk, and if we wait 4 years, I'll be pushing 36, which makes me high risk and a geriatric pregnancy, which means it's probably never going to happen for me. Not here in the US, definitely not here in Charleston, South Carolina. We could move back to our home state of Maine. They're a protected state, or to Vermont, somewhere in New England. But even then, who's to say what's going to happen? And then waking up to text between myself and my female friends and my LGBTQ plus friends, and not knowing what the world's going to look like for them either. And then coming to school this morning and realizing someone might want to put a gun in my hand to protect these kids. That's all we did at our last teacher in service day, was prepare for gun lockdowns. I teach 2- and 3-year-olds. And that's the world they're growing up into. So I hope you voted. And I hope you know what you did when you voted.
What would the reaction be in Chicago if the President of the United States does indeed put active duty military on the streets of Chicago?
The city of Chicago does not need a military occupied state. They don't have police power. There's nothing they can do. These are federal troops. They do not go through the training that our police officers go through, so they cannot even enact police authority. But the people of this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. We're not going to surrender our humanity to this tyrant. The city of Chicago has a long history of standing up against tyranny, resisting those who wish to undermine the interests of working people. We're not going to back down. We're not going to cower. We're not going to bend. We're not going to break. We are Chicago. We are the soul of America, and we will maintain that posture from now until.
Meanwhile,
the city of Chicago does not need a military occupied state. There's nothing they can do.
14% rating is what you appear to have, Brandon Johnson. He's a loser. He's a loser. Loser.
We're not going to.
Getting crushed by capitalism is like so cringe, but it's like it's happening to me. And like I got a PhD from Berkeley, and like I can't get a job to save my life. Like I got a soil biology PhD, and like now I'm a tutor and a babysitter and a dog sitter. And like part of that is because like I don't want to like move to some random place in the middle of nowhere. But like the other half is like they cut all the funding for science, and like the biotech market is just like absolutely cratered, and like I have long COVID, so it's difficult for me to work like a full-time job, and just like, I got on here to rant a little bit, but like, oh my God, like, what do we do? I just have to work.
When the Founding Fathers made this great country, I'm going to stop you right there. The Founding Fathers owned slaves. The Founding Fathers had less access to education than a modern-day 12-year-old. They don't know anything. I don't care what they wanted. I don't care what they think. It's unconstitutional. I should hope so. The Constitution was written by people who didn't think women should vote. The Constitution was written by people who had 15-year-old wives dying in childbirth. Frequently. The Constitution was written by people who had little cartoon Elmer Fudd shotguns, not automatic war machines capable of ripping down 100 children in a minute, and have, and will again. The whole point is to change. The whole point is to progressively make better decisions so we do not repeat the atrocities of our ancestors. If I was born at any other time in American history, I would have been burned at the stake or lobotomized. And we think the people doing that are the ones who know what should be going on today? We don't want to listen to the people who cured tuberculosis or decided, hey, maybe we shouldn't put lead in house paint. You are actively repeating the atrocities of your ancestors. You're doing it on purpose! I don't care about the Founding Fathers.
My family and friends are always asking me, like, when are you coming back home to the US? And I'm like, I'm not. After living in Europe, I cannot see myself ever returning back to the US full time. My mental health is so much better here. The food is better. The food is fresher. I get amazing medical care here without ever having to worry about how much the bill is going to be when I leave the doctor. It's incredibly safe to raise children here. I never have to worry about gun violence in public. Literally living in my dream home with the most amazing view for less than what I paid for a one-bedroom apartment in the United States. I have no desire to go back to the United States.
Under pressure at work, I feel a sense of safety from childhood.
What in the world is going on? Adults have started sucking on pacifiers in order to soothe their anxieties. American adults are sucking on pacifiers to get through stress at work, in traffic, when they're having trouble sleeping, or during moments of pure burnout. Psychologists call this the regression phenomenon, which basically is the idea that when life gets overwhelming, people retreat into something that made them feel safe as kids. Online retailers are reporting sales of over 2,000 adult binkies per month, and they range in price from a couple dollars to $70 plus if you want a more luxury pacifier. Doctors and dentists have voiced their concerns with this new trend, saying that pacifiers are not made for adults and it could shift their teeth around. But I think we have bigger problems than that when adults are turning to binkies to relax themselves.
One buyer says, quote, "When I'm under pressure at work, I feel a sense of safety from childhood."
But you look like a fool. Just stop and act like an adult.
Well, that was Stupid Town for today. It's Wednesday, hump day, and I'm hoping that you all have beautiful weather. It was so nice and cool waking up this morning to 40-some degree weather and sitting outside with a cup of coffee, and it was a fabulous, beautiful, clear sky today, severe clear, and we're looking forward to a day in the 80s, and the coolness at night is welcome for sleep, and just enjoying the cool down here of a taste of fall here in East Tennessee, and I'm hoping that you all are enjoying some good weather where you are. Remember, if you have an opportunity today to take a walk in the woods, a walk on the beach, or just a quiet moment to reflect and pray, remember in your prayers all of us here that are going through the changes that are taking place in our country, some good, some not so good, but if we pray and pray hard for our leaders and our governors and mayors and leaders across the world that are embroiled in wars and of that nature, please pray that they come to their senses and we can get back to a life that is always worth living, because around the corner every day is a new day, and we all should look at a new day as being a better day, and a better day is what we make of it. So keep your hearts pure and keep your minds toward the help of God through prayer, which happens all of the time. They're listening, he's listening, and we should be in a better situation if we all come back to understanding each other and not listen to the news, which wants to divide us, whether through religion, whether through race, or just the ideology of a party, one party or another. And it will be better. Things are getting better. Let this president work the magic that he's capable of doing, and we'll all be better off for it. So we wish you a very happy hump day here Wednesday, and God bless you all, and remember, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more information and a look at Stupid Town. Bye-bye now. God bless you all.